We're going to start by having a look at this HP machine, and I'm telling you, this one is a looker. It might not be the most appealing 13-inch ultrabook out there, but it's fairly beautiful, and on top of that, it is quite solid built. The laptop weighs a bit over 3 pounds and is about 0.7 inches thick, but gets slightly slimmer towards the front and overall is a hair more compact than most of the other 13-inch ultrabooks. The Spectre XT combines the aluminum you get on the hood with some soft rubbery plastic for the sides and the underbelly, which feels good to touch, provides grip and won't scratch easily. On our unit, the entire exterior comes in silver, but you can also find this one in black. Speaking about the underbelly, you'll only find some cooling grills back there and the speakers, so there's no easy way to access the battery or the internals, but it's not that difficult either. You'll just have to take care of a couple of Phillips screws for that. The ports are lined on the sides. On the left there are the Ethernet, HDMI and USB 3.0 slots, plus the Kensington lock, while on the right you'll find some status LEDs, a headphone microphone jack, a card reader that can easily accommodate an entire SD card, a USB 2.0 slot with charge while sleeping abilities, and the PSU. So the only thing missing is VGA output, but HP will offer an HDMI to VGA adapter with this laptop, although I believe you'll have to pay extra for it. Opening the lid, you'll notice a nice looking interior also covered in aluminum, with the keyboard and trackpad slightly deepened into the chassis. On top of the keyboard there's a plastic grille that integrates the power button and hides beneath some of that Beats audio speaker system. All in all, the HP Spectre XT Pro looks good and feels solid, and while the body does not impress in any particular way, I find it practical, which for me is extremely important, and by that I'm trying to say that most of the tiny details are well thought of. The screen's lid does not bend when pressed, the edges are not too sharp, and the bottom is solid and offers good grip, and so on. The screen, however, is not as good as you'd expect from a modern laptop, especially one meant for enterprise environments. First of all, it's glossy and also comes with a glossy bezel. And second, this is just a standard 13-inch TN panel with 1366 by 768 pixels resolution. As a result, the viewing angles are narrow and you'll get plenty of annoying reflections when using the laptop in bright light. But on the other hand, the colors are not that bad and the screen is fairly bright. So while this is not one of those awful displays we find on budget ultrabooks, it's still not as good as I was expecting, especially if you're going to compare it to that IPS panel on the ASUS ZenBook Prime, which is the standard in this class right now. With that aside, we should have a look at the keyboard and the trackpad. The first is actually quite good, with a proper layout, well-spaced keys and good overall tactile feedback. The keyboard is also backlit, and yes, the illumination level cannot be adjusted, but I can live with that. In fact, this is probably one of the most comfortable keyboards featured on a 13-inch ultrabook, and its only small issue are those cramped up and down arrow keys. And some, me included, might not appreciate the reverse function keys, but I think I could get used to those. As for the trackpad, it's spacious enough, smooth, and it's properly separated from the palm rest. It's also quite accurate and responsive, both for everyday use but also when it comes to using multi-touch gestures. The integrated click buttons perform surprisingly well too, so I might say I'm quite impressed with the trackpad on this HP. One thing though, you can disable the touchpad by tapping the designated area in the top left corner, and sometimes this one can get a bit unresponsive. But since you're not going to use this feature that often, it shouldn't bother you at all. Okay, it's now time to tell you a couple of things about how this laptop deals with the everyday tasks. My test unit is built on an Intel Core i5-3317U processor with 4GB of RAM and a fast 128GB SSD. As a result, it is fairly snappy while performing casual activities and can also handle multimedia content or more intense programs. More details about performances are available in the written review on the site. There's a link towards that in the description below. Long story short though, the Spectre XT feels pretty much as any of the other top ultrabooks in this class right now. It also runs cool and it's never going to get very hot, not even when pushed. During daily use, the fans stay quiet as well, and for most of the time they are even completely shut down. When watching some HD movies, editing some photos, or performing some other tasks that will require a bit of extra power, the fans will kick on and you'll hear them when using the laptop in a completely silent room, but you'll never feel that this HP Spectre XT Pro gets too loud. Of course, the noise is usually going to be covered by the overall good speakers on this unit. There are 4 of them packed on this laptop, 2 on the bottom and 2 on top of the keyboard. However, while they do provide punchy and loud sound for a 13-inch laptop, I was probably expecting them to be somewhat better in terms of audio quality as well, as the sound feels a bit blunt. Still, this is definitely better than what you get on most other 13-inch ultrabooks available right now. Now, before talking about the battery life and prices, I should remind you that this is a business design laptop, which means that the Spectre XT Pro comes with Windows 7 Professional by default. There's also a TPM module embedded and can be sold with Computrace, on top of the other pieces of software HP bundles on this unit, including Office Starter and a bunch of others. Back to that battery, there's a 4-cell 52Wh one on the Spectre XT, and it provides enough juice for about 4.5 hours of daily use on HP's recommended power profile, with the screen at 60% while performing various casual tasks. And that can of course be squeezed to 5+ hours when using the computer lightly, switching off the keyboard's illumination or dimming the screen. That's good, but some other ultrabooks can do better, including HP's Folio 13. As for the prices, the tested HP Spectre XT Pro is available on HP's website right now for $1099, which makes it one of the most expensive 13-inch ultrabooks of the moment. And yes, having TPM and Windows 7 Professional does add to the cost, but I still feel that HP should have gone a bit softer with the prices here. The home user version of the Spectre XT starts at $999, missing the business targeted features, and even so, that's only 50% cheaper than the Asus ZenBook Prime with its awesome display. In fact, if HP would have bundled a better screen on this machine, the Spectre XT could have easily been the best 13-inch ultrabook on the market, cause except for that, there's little you could say wrong about it. The laptop is beautiful and feels sturdy, the keyboard and trackpad are among the best in the class, it's as fast as most of the other good machines in the segment, offers good speakers and modern wireless connectivity. All in all, the HP Spectre XT is one of the best 13-inch ultrabooks and feels like a mature product, a good follow-up for HP's first ultrabook, the Folio 13. And while none of its features stand out from the crowd, the entire bundle is great. That of course if you don't mind paying a premium price for a device that only offers an average screen and average battery life. With that in mind, it's time to end this clip. If you liked it, don't forget to share it to your friends and leave your comments and questions below. Until next time, Mike out.